You are Locked On Dodgers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, that was scary and ugly. And avert your eyes kind of a situation, if you will. Nothing to see here. Nothing good anyway. Dodgers get walloped, waxed, shellacked, 10-1. I'm Pete Fox. It's the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. You can also listen wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. That's where you find Jeff and Vince doing the Locked On Daily Dodgers podcast. I'm Pete Fox, as I said, covering sports in LA dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB and use the code all lowercase LockedOnMLB to win $50 instantly when you play just $5. Well, there was not much to feel good about in that one. And I said scary because we learned today that Tyler Glasnow is more than likely done for the season. And that is not good because we sit here and go, whoa, what? Who do we put in that spot? Now, I know Landon Knack's been pretty good, but he was not good last night. And I said the last time we did the postcast, which was Wednesday. God, it's been Wednesday. It feels like a lot longer. We had the off day Thursday, and I was busy yesterday, and the game was on Apple, so didn't cover that one. Unfortunately, that worked out well because I didn't have to watch that disaster either. Tonight was definitely worse, but I had said Flaherty's, probably the two, after Yamamoto. I first said he could be the one, and I'd momentarily forgotten about Yamamoto. So if he pitches anything close to what he pitched last time out in his return, Yamamoto, without a doubt, head and shoulders, the number one for the Dodgers. Then Flaherty is probably the two, in spite of how he pitched tonight. And then now we just, don't have an idea for number three, really. I mean, Stone, is he healthy? No, I don't know. I have the craziest idea running through my head. Steven Nelson said someone's got to step up. Am I crazy to think that it could be Shohei Ohtani? I mean, he's been in the bullpen throwing. The Tommy John was the 20th of September, 2023. He's a week shy of 12 months. And they say the return from Tommy John is 12 to whatever, 12 to never, or 12 to 16 months. And I don't know. I mean, crazier things have happened. The Dodgers need something. Yeah, I know Kershaw's healthy, but I don't know that we believe in him as a starter in the postseason. And I know we're here to just talk about this game, but we got 14 more to go. Fortunately, Milwaukee is rolling the Diamondbacks 12-0. That's worse than our game. And what about the Padres? I'm not, look, I shouldn't be terribly worried about getting into the postseason. And as I've said over and over again, I don't feel that, being a wild card team is the worst thing in the world for the Dodgers. But I tell you what is bad, more games versus fewer games. The more games the Dodgers have to play after the regular season is over is not good. So that week off could really, really help from that perspective. Roy brings up a good point. Our defense, Mookie and Rojas, let Flaherty down. Absolutely. That was the turning point of this game, Roy. Thank you for hitting the nail right on the head. Shaky defense. Now, they didn't call the Mookie thing an error. They called it a base hit because it had some bizarre side spin on it. It hit Mookie in the glove. The guy's not perfect. He is a Gold Glove fielder. He's won 6 of them, I believe. Should have made that play. But really, that wasn't the problem in the half inning. It was the booted ball, the bobble by Miggy. That turned into a 3-run double and made it 4-1. They roll that double play there, get out of that inning. It's a different ball game. They may still lose, but that was without a doubt the turning point. And the Dodgers at that point just kind of said, we're done. We're out. So the part where I was aghast. I've never seen Kike pitch. I'm always in here in the she shed for the postcast, the studio, if you will. And I've missed it. And I know he throws the ball, 45, 50 miles an hour. But tonight they had to run Miggy out there as well. And Miggy was literally throwing the ball 41 miles an hour. And Steve Nelson made the comment that it was like slow pitch beer league softball. And I was just like standing there watching. I stood up. I was like, is this really happening? That was embarrassing. Right? We're losing so badly. We don't want to run any pitchers out here. So we're going to put an infielder and then another infielder. And I know they put up zeros, but seriously, do you think the Braves were trying to get hits there? I mean, come on. Miggy gave up 1 hit. Kike, nothing. Zeros. 9 pitches. Rojas, 14 pitches, got out of the inning. No damage. You're not going to do that in the postseason. It's like it becomes laughable at that point. You're like, really? We're just going to run this guy out there and okay, I guess. I don't know. I was literally standing there embarrassed. Maybe I shouldn't have been. I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Surprised I didn't get text messages from friends of mine that are Giants fans laughing at the Dodgers getting smoked by the Braves. Braves are now 81-67, 42-31 at home. Dodgers are 87-61, 39-34. Braves are right there battling with the Mets for that final wild card position. I thought the Braves had it kind of locked, but the Mets are hanging tough. So Braves got something to play for right now. And obviously they displayed that urgency tonight. Just taking care of business, right? Padres, Diamondbacks, 1-2 Mets and Braves now tied at 81-67. So those two teams are a game and a half back of the Diamondbacks, who again are more than likely going to lose tonight. They're down 13-0. They missed the extra point. So I feel like maybe that news about Tyler Glasnow hanging over their head. I feel like the Dodgers don't match up well against the Braves for whatever reason. Obviously, can't overlook the fact that Chris Sale was dealing. And it's surprising to me that Chris Sale has never, what'd they say? He never beaten the Dodgers? How's that possible? This is his first win against the Dodgers. What? A guy with that kind of stuff? And that's just random, right? That doesn't make any sense at all. But it's true. First win. And he's 17-3 now. So front runner for the Cy Young. No runs in the month of September until tonight. He gave up 1 earned. So that's his first run in the month of September. Struck out 6, 96 pitches. Also leading the league in ERA 2.35. But yeah, that guy, they talk about matchups and horses for courses and whatnot. Chris Sale is a guy, to me, that probably is like, if I was, again, I know I'm not even close or never have been close to being a professional baseball player, but I do know how to play the game. Like if he didn't throw the ball 95 miles an hour, like if he threw it 75 miles an hour and I was up there facing him, I would be baffled because he's all arms and legs. What do they say? Elbows and hands, or I don't know. There's a phrase, because he's so lanky and he's not very fluid. He's herky jerky. He has to be tough to hit against. I'm always amazed that his performances aren't better because he throws hard. He's got wicked stuff and he's not fluid. It's very herky jerky, and he does it very fast, right? It reminds me of a golf swing after you've yanked one into the water or into the gunch, and then you get up to the next tee and you just rip it. You're like, nah, damn it, whatever. You just take a big hack at it. That's what every pitch from Chris Sale looks like to me. Like, it's just like, I'm just going to fling it up there. So the big long legs and the big long arms, it's just got to be very, very difficult. And especially when his stuff is on like it was tonight. Woo, man, that is a challenge to be sure. 10-1 the final. Sale gets the win against 17-3. Now Flaherty suffers the loss. He's 12-7. Flaherty only managed 3, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, struck out 4, and walked 4. That was not good. And then, as we mentioned, the defense was not good. The offense was nowhere to be found. And they got 7 hits, but none of them clutch. With runners in scoring position, Dodgers where's that damn number? Never find that number when I'm 1 for 4. I mean, that just says more about the fact that Mookie's a good hitter, and they couldn't get anybody into scoring position, even though they got 7 hits. They lose 10-1. When we come back, we'll talk about the errors from Teo Hernandez, not as a fielder, as a base runner. What the heck was that? It's Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. And you can listen wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. This episode of the Locked On Dodgers Postcast is brought to you by Tonal. When life gets busy, fitting in a workout can be stressful. With Tonal, you can get an efficient workout personalized just for you, and it's available with the amount of time that you have because it's in your house. I know I'm not a good home workout guy. Tonal would be right up my alley if I had the space for it. That's the biggest thing. I don't have any room for it. I had a treadmill in the house. That treadmill is looking really good in the corner. We got a bike right next to it. What's it called? The elliptical bike? No, whatever, that bike. So maybe I should get rid of those 2 things and put a Tonal in there. That might work out better. It's right there. It's right there in the living room. And I hardly ever use it. So I don't know what that's all about. I'm just not a good home workout guy. I need to go to the place. But a lot of people are like, that's my biggest problem, is going to the place. So when you have it in your house, and this Tonal thing is super smart, which is different from the treadmill. It's like you just got to get on there and do the work. Tonal is the world's smartest and most effective strength training system that helps you get stronger, powered by AI. Tonal learns every rep so it can deliver workouts personalized just for you. And that's the thing I don't have with the 2 devices I have. Right now, Tonal is offering our listeners $200 off on your Tonal purchase with promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Tonal.com, Tonal.com, and use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off your first purchase. It's Tonal.com, LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off. All right, Dodgers get waxed 10-1. Jack Flaherty wasn't good. Vesia came in, pitched 2 innings, pretty good. Just struck out 2. Evan Phillips was also ineffective again. Had it going there for a while during the month of August and has been shaky as we got into September. Only survived a third of an inning, gave up 5 runs on 3 hits in that ugly frame for the Dodgers, where they gave up 6 in the 6th, and the game was over at that point. Shortly thereafter, they started bringing in fielders to pitch, Miggy Rojas and Kike Hernandez. But Brazier threw 2/3 of an inning to get out of that jam that Phillips was in, gave up 1 run on 1 hit. So the success and failure of this team, to me, boils down to one thing right now, and that's starting pitching. And I feel like it's been that way for a while. When the Dodgers have good starting pitching, I'm not going to say it's a lock, but they have a better than average shot at winning games. When they don't, they're just an average team. And I that is what scares me about this team going into the postseason. They are second to the Philadelphia Phillies, I believe, in wins for the best record in baseball. And we're sitting here chewing our fingernails, scratching our head going, wow, it's going to be ugly when we get to the postseason. They're beating good teams, took care of the Diamondbacks, took care of the Guardians. They're battling and playing when it matters. They're playing good baseball, but they go through these little stretches like this where they can't get out of their own way. And the fact that they had another defensive letdown and another mental error on the base path, to me, is stuff that can't happen for a team that is contending to win a World Series. That is the second best record in all of baseball, in spite of a ton of injuries, a buttload of injuries all season long. The Dodgers have battled through injuries. This would be the year that they figure out a way to win the World Series, because it just doesn't make any sense that they should or could. But here they are, 87 wins, 2 behind the Phils, who have 89, and they're just constantly dealing with injuries. And they, are still winning, but here tonight come out and look ridiculous at times. The thing about Teo on that base running, I'm frustrated from the standpoint of that has to be something that you are better than, right? The mental capacity in that situation, that's dumb baseball. That's dumb base running. That is fundamentally unsound. You hit a double with 2 outs, right? I know it was 2 outs, but let's not forget the Dodgers are the best RBI team in baseball with 2 outs. So he should know, hey, I'm on second base. I'm in scoring position. What am I doing trying to stretch this into a triple? I know what he was doing. He was trying to make something happen. But there is a rule in baseball that is as old as time that says you don't make the first or third out at third base, right? That's exactly what he did. It is basic little league baseball. You don't make the first or third out at third base. Hit a double. You're in scoring position. Stay there. And it wasn't even close. That's the other thing. You have to applaud the aggression. And maybe he's like trying to, outsmart Dino Ebel at third base, who is afraid to send people sometimes from second base. But the Dodgers, they know how to score with runners in scoring position. They know how to do it with 2 outs. They know how to do it with 2 strikes. They're very effective at that. So, that should be number 1 on the whiteboard. Hey, don't push it with 2 outs. We know what we're doing there. And then the shaky D, Miggy doesn't make those plays. So I don't know. I mean, it was an off night, but I feel am I wrong in saying that we're having too many off nights? What was it? Tuesday when they had all the errors in the 8th inning? Wednesday they came out and played well. So I don't know. I feel like this is just one that they need to shake off. Bury it. Forget it. As they say after the game in the clubhouse, turn the page. Yeah, that was not much to feel good about there. Nando? This is Freeman's fault for prospect hugging until they have no value. What does that mean? Prospect hugging. What does that even mean? I don't know what that means. Please explain, Nando. I'm sure that's funny. I just don't get it. You're always funny, and I'm laughing just because I know that about you. Ohtani, yeah, another off night for him. Trying too hard for me, down 10-1. He was up there trying to hit a 9-run home run. He's got to be more in that situation when you need base runners. He's got to be more inclined to get on base or get a base hit. He did walk, so give him credit for that. 0 for 2. He was 0 for 4 last night. So 0 for this series. Struck out once. Again, didn't look good, but I my fingers are crossed that he is kind of focused on the 50-50 thing right now, and he's trying to hit home runs. And the stolen base thing, I think, will be easy. And the home run thing is going to be a little hard. Needs 3 home runs, 14 games, should be no problem. But he's up there clearly trying to hit home runs. I feel like Shohei is a good enough player, a smart enough player that when we get to the postseason, Shohei will be aware of the situations and be more conducive to playing into that situation. Like, we need a base hit here. We need to move a guy over. We need a fly ball, not trying to hit home runs every single time. So that's what I'm hoping for. We don't know. He could go up there in the postseason and like they could say, hey, there is no restrictions on you, no leash, swing for the fences every time, swing from the shoelaces. You know, I don't know how they treat him. I have a feeling that they just tell Shohei to do whatever you want, buddy. You be you. It's worked this long, right? So am I crazy to think that Shohei Ohtani could pitch this postseason as a starter? Next Friday, it'll be 12 months to the day from when he had the Tommy John. He's been in the bullpen, throwing pretty hard, popping the mitt. I just think they don't risk it. It seems stupid, right? It seems ridiculous to even think that, but they need him. They need a starter. They need a third guy. We got to get Gavin Stone healthy now since Glasnow's out, done. Maybe we'll have a miracle there. I don't know. But it's not going to work with 2 guys. Landon Knack's a huge question mark. And you're not going to throw Bobby Miller out there. You're not going to throw Clayton Kershaw, although they might. I don't know. Tonight brought up a lot of very, very bad questions for me. Oral Hershiser called it an earthquake. I'm like, accurate description. Maybe a bit mild. 10-1 is an avalanche. Dodgers get smoked. I'm Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. You can also listen wherever you find your podcasts on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. You make Jeff and Vince your first listen, and then you come here right after the games, and you make me your second listen, and we appreciate you making us your source for your team every day. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Dodgers postcast is brought to you by PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. With over 5 million active members, it's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, PrizePicks, just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 players and their projections and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy so that your lineup stay in even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, PrizePicks, your picks are still alive. And one Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on PrizePicks every week in the month of September. So you got to keep that rolling. It's a free W every week in the month of September. So take advantage of that. So you really got to find one right projection and watch the winnings roll in. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash in even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Players, stat types, all sorts of interesting options for picks. I mean, you could spend hours on PrizePicks going through the available options there. So it does make things a lot more interesting, a lot more fun. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONMLB. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Locked On MLB on PrizePicks.com is the code. $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, here's an abbreviated Diamond Dogs list tonight on the Locked On Dodgers postcast. Kike in at number 5 with a 1-out double in the third. Then Mookie with the only RBI of the game, a bleeder up the middle. The only run scored off of Chris Sale all month long. That made it 1-1. Nice piece of hitting there from Mookie Betts. And then Freddie with a poke down the left field line, went the other way for a 2-out double to left. That came in the 6th inning, and that would be the end of any sort of offensive threats for the Dodgers. Do we feel like they need a prayer at this point? Yeah, I didn't even mention Walker Buehler, but Roy did. Watching Kershaw, Buehler, Miller take the mound pretty low. Yeah, I don't think Buehler has it either. I just they got to have a third guy at least. I mean, ideally going into the postseason, you want 4 guys. I know that sometimes in these shorter series, 3 is enough. And then sometimes they'll try to bring the one back if he gets low usage. Somebody earlier mentioned that they don't have faith in Yamamoto because he's not tested in the postseason. Okay. You got any other ideas? Whoever that was that mentioned that might have been. Oh, here it is. Los Dodgers World Series champs. We have 2 starters. And Yamamoto's got no experience. Yeah. Whatever. Kershaw's got a ton of experience. You want him out there? I don't at all. You know what I might be willing to test with Kershaw is an opener. Like have Brazier open and then Kershaw comes in the second or something. I don't know. You got to get creative because you can't do it with just Flaherty and Yamamoto. And we don't know what's up with Gavin Stone at this point. So, I'm not terribly worried about the race for the West. I do believe, as I said earlier, that getting that week off is going to be helpful because it could mean extra time for Shohei to pitch. I just want that to happen. I think that would just, you guys think I dislike Shohei? Not true at all, by the way, but that would take what is already a remarkable season to a new level that is unheard of. Here's a guy coming back from Tommy John and he pitches in the postseason in, 12 months and 2 weeks. That would be, that's the stuff that legends are made of. I know he's already a legend, but that would take his status to a new level. And it doesn't get any better tomorrow. Walker Buehler versus Charlie Morton, who we always have problems with. Fortunately, Morton is not the same Morton this season. He's 8-8 with a 4.11 ERA, and his WHIP is 1.32. And he's got a lot of innings under his belt. 149 innings and 155 Ks. That's the thing. He's a strikeout guy. And the Dodgers, for whatever reason, they have struggled against Charlie Morton. Not a fan of that pitching matchup. And then the game on Monday, they even have a starter named for that yet. Let's see, because I'm not feeling good about the chances of salvaging one game in this series. Yeah, Yamamoto will start against Fried. Oh, just Max Fried. Cool. That'll be easy. Can't wait for this series to be over. God. On to Cincinnati. What am I reading? Am I reading the right thing here? Oh, the Braves are on to Cincinnati. I was like, wait, I thought we were playing Miami, which is exactly what the Dodgers need. And the Miami Marlins. Yes. Then you can run Kike out there to pitch all you want. Miggy and Kike could pitch against the Marlins and the Dodgers would still win. Now that would be awesome. But yeah, Yamamoto and Buehler. Well, Buehler's due for a good start. Let's leave it at that, huh? And just bury this one. Turn the page, Dodger fans. I'm Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodger Postcast. Thanks for jumping in. You guys are great tonight. Trying to keep a brave face, stiff upper lip after a 10-1 kick to the backside, kick in the you-know-what in the boys. It was just ugly. I'm sorry. There is nothing to feel good about in this game. Nothing at all. Except the fact that it was over. That was it. I don't feel like it was embarrassing enough for them to go, we can't let that happen again. They're just like, hey, can't win them all, right? On to the next one. So that's tomorrow. 4:00, Buehler against Charlie Morton. So we'll see you after that. I'm Pete Fox. This is the Locked On Dodgers Postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. You can also listen wherever you find your podcast on the Locked On Dodgers podcast feed. Have a good night. We will talk tomorrow.